Hi, and thanks for joining us for another one of Family Marines videos. My name's Tom. So today we're back in our main showroom, and just so you know, we have as many as 25 boats inside on our showroom. Today what we're here to talk about is a Barletta pontoon. This one is called a Lusso. Now a Lusso is Barletta's top shelf model, so the running order goes Aria, Cabrio, Corsa, and Lusso. So this is their top shelf model. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about two different size pontoons. I'm going to talk about a 23 and a 25, because truth is they're identical pontoons. The only difference is the deck length and the bench seat length in the bow of the pontoon. And we'll talk about the inside in a little bit. So for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the outside. So as I mentioned, the deck length is different between the two. So the 23-foot pontoon has a 25-foot 6-inch deck length, where the 25-foot pontoon has a 27-foot 6-inch deck length. Now, remember, I've said this in many videos, that Barletta does not measure the deck length. They measure the length of the tube, from the front of the tube to the back of the tube. So if the boat's a 23, it's going to have a 23-inch tube. But in a Lusso, the deck length of a 23 is going to be 25.6, because the swim platform hangs out behind the tube for a couple of feet. So, as I mentioned, this is a Lusso, and we're going to start on the outside, and then we'll do the inside, and then I'll do some pricing for you. This is the 23-foot Lusso, and you can see one of the things that's standard for 2023 is the exterior lighting package. So you can see the white light underneath the decks on this pontoon, and you can also see that we added the Vantage pontoon kit / guard. So this is a vinyl wrap. This comes in many different colors, and then we have what I call a rubber baby buggy bumper down here. This is to protect your tube from dock rash. It's a 4.5-inch wide rubber strip. It's about a 1/4 inch thick. It does a tremendous job on protecting the side of the pontoon from any damage. So on the Lussos, they have a 26-inch diameter pontoon. Now triple tunes are standard on these. You can't even get a 2-tube Lusso anymore. So triple tunes are standard. So the center tube is also 26-inch diameter, and you can see this aluminum extrusion down there runs all the way to the back of the pontoon. That's the splash guard. That helps prevent water from spraying back into your face. It diverts the water down as you're pounding across the lake. Okay, and as usual with all Barlettas, we have the heavy-duty extruded aluminum splash fin. And in some of my other videos, I've talked about the benefits of those versus a lot of pontoons that have the aluminum splash guards that bend up quite easily. Now, there are 7 different colors available, and in a Lusso, a 2-tone is standard. You could actually order it in a monotone if you wanted, but a 2-tone is standard. This particular boat happens to be black diamond, which is a metallic black with a charcoal accent. And of course, like I've always said, you can flip-flop these. If you wanted charcoal up in here and at the bottom with black in the middle, you can do that. So we have 2 different colors of black. We have a matte black and a black diamond. We have 2 different colors of blue. We have a matte blue and our regular blue. We have burgundy, we have champagne, we have white, and of course gray. And you can get any color combination that you want. Now, we always order our boats in with what we call a blackout package. So this aluminum rail on the fencing is anodized black instead of the standard aluminum color that you see on most of the pontoons that are on the market. We just think that the Barlettas look so much better with the blackout package than they do with the aluminum rails. Now, when you get the blackout package, they also anodize the rub rail, the skirting, and the bimini top frame. And of course, you've heard me say many times that all Barlettas come standard with an electric bimini top. No more manual tops on these. Okay, one of the things that I want to talk about, and this is not a very glamorous subject, but chassis construction. Now, I know a lot of people are out there saying, I really don't care about chassis construction. I want to know how fast it'll go, how much it costs, how many people will seat, how much fun it's going to be. Yeah, I get that. But here's what I'm here to tell you. The chassis is the backbone of your pontoon. It's very, very important. It's going to make a big difference in the overall comfort, ride, handling, vibration of the pontoon. So what Barletta does is, as I mentioned, we have 26-inch diameter pontoons, and these are what are called saddle brackets. Okay, this is what's welded behind this skirting on top of the pontoon, and there's multiple of these going all the way down the tube. And then this is what's called a cross member. So in a Lusso, there's many, many, many double I-beams. So Barletta uses double I-beams, I-beams, C-channel, box channel. So there's multiple of these double I-beams going all the way down. What the cross members do is, of course, they go from one side of the pontoon to the other, and that's what ties the whole chassis together. So the strength of that chassis is critical in helping to give you a comfortable, smooth, vibration-free ride. Now, what really helps with the vibration-free is what we call a VIP, or a vibration isolation pad. That's that black line that you see there. That's a rubber pad. And what that rubber pad does is it prevents vibration from the engine or from the water from transferring through the tubes into the boat, giving you a smoother, vibration-free, rattle-free ride. So the construction of the chassis is critical. People don't think very much about that, but I'm here to tell you it makes a big, big difference. And by the way, Barletta puts a lifetime warranty on that chassis. Okay, the rest of the boat's warranted for 10 years bow to stern, but the chassis is a lifetime warranty. Now, I know there's a competitor of ours that's out there that talks about how their decks, their wood floorboards, are bolted to the cross members of the pontoon, and they're saying that other brands of pontoons that use screws, they call them tech screws, aren't as good. Well, I'm here to dispute that. We have had those brands of pontoons in, and we've gotten them lifted up in the air, and we've gone underneath and we've counted the number of bolts that they use to attach their wood floors to their cross members, and we've counted the number of tech screws that Barletta uses to attach their wood floors to their cross members, and the truth is there's 3 to 4 times more tech screws in our Barlettas than there are in that other brand that uses the bolts. But the funny thing is, both brands give you a lifetime chassis warranty, and of course the attaching hardware that bolts or attaches the decking to the cross member is part of that lifetime warranty. So my question to you is, do you really care how it's attached? Who cares? You got a lifetime warranty. Heck, if they use 2x4s and 16 penny nails, as long as they give you a lifetime warranty, who cares? So yeah, we do use tech screws. Okay, back to the meat and potatoes, right? I talked about color. These stainless steel covers here are for the LED lights, the docking lights. You know, I want to take just a moment to talk about docking lights. There's a reason they call them docking lights, because they're designed so that when you're pulling up to your dock or your boat lift, you can turn your lights on and see better. They are not made to be driving across the lake at night. Here's the problem. I've been out boating at night before, and somebody turns their headlights or docking lights on and they're heading right towards me, and I'm blinded. I can't see a thing. It's like driving out in the country at night, somebody comes around the corner with their brights on, and it's like, oh my gosh, my eyes are acclimated to the darkness, and this guy's coming at me with his brights on, I can't see the road. Same thing driving at night. It actually becomes a safety feature, because if those docking lights are shining right in my face and I'm heading across the lake, I can't see a thing. I'm blinded. I can't see another guy sitting out in his fishing boat, sitting in the middle of the lake. I can't see his red or green or white light because I'm blinded by those docking lights for the guys that's heading towards me. So remember, these docking lights are only to be used for pulling into the dock at night. We have our LED navigation lights. We have 4 of these boat bumper clips. Of course, that's for you tie your rope on here for the white bumper or black bumper that you hang down the side to protect your boat from getting banged up on the dock. And it's very easily removed. You can pop these things on and off. And on a Lusso, standard is a couple of fender racks, boat bumper racks on the back of the pontoon. I'll show you those in a little bit. Okay, so as we move down the side, you'll see another nice, very attractive stainless steel cosmetic piece here. I tell people that makes them go faster, but it really doesn't. Here's our other clip back here for our fender. And this being a UC model, Ultra Lounge with a co-pilot, 23-foot Ultra Lounge with a co-pilot is what the UC stands for, co-pilot's chair. We'll show you that when we get inside. I love the styling of the fencing, how it swoops down in the front and the back. Gives it a very, very attractive appearance. Now, in Minnesota, we always add the option of the stern stainless steel safety stanchions with chains. Why do we do that? In Minnesota, if you wanted to ride in this stern-facing bench seat, it would be illegal if you weren't enclosed. So by having these stanchions, these chains, you're enclosed in the cockpit of the boat, making it legal to ride back here. Some states don't have that. Minnesota does, right? So that's the idea behind the optional stern safety stanchions. Even if your state doesn't require them, I think it's a pretty good idea, especially if you have children, right? Okay, so on the back of the pontoon, well, first thing is you can see the very, very large deck that hangs out the back of the tubes. This being a 23, like I said, it's 25.6 is the length overall and the deck length. That's a lot of deck hanging out there. So it gives you a very large platform for workability in the back of the pontoon. Underneath here, we have a floor storage compartment. That's designed for a Yeti 18 hopper cooler, but I don't use that. I use it for my rear anchor storage. And I put other things in there too. You can see we have lighted speakers out the back of the Ultra Lounge. We have a standard stereo remote control. So let's say we're at the sandbar and we want to turn our music up or down. We can control it from the stern remote control for the stereo. Also the underwater lights down below on the tube, you can see that the standard underwater lights are on. We've got our battery switch on in this one. And here's what I was talking about a second ago, are the boat bumper racks. So you can just slip your boat bumper in and out of there very easily. A great place to store it. Now, ahead of the engine is our gas fill. We have a couple of cup holders there in case you're having a refreshing beverage while you're refueling. And the nice thing I like about the gas fill being in the center of the pontoon is no matter what side of the gas pump you pull up on, it's easy to access. And in this pontoon, because it's a triple tune, it has a 43-gallon fuel tank, so you have plenty of fuel to last you out there all weekend long. By the way, on this particular boat, being a 23-footer, we did a Mercury 250 horsepower Verado, and that's of course a V8. Verado being the higher performance engine from the standard 250. And of course we always use the Mercury inertia stainless steel props. Now over on the other side is the black anodized aluminum 5-step deep reaching boarding ladder. It's kind of buried in there. You can't really get to it to show you how it works, but it's a very, very nice ladder. The rungs are very wide, easy to access. A couple of stainless steel grab handles as you're coming up the ladder. Makes it a breeze. Now, because this is a standard triple tune, lifting strakes are standard. As you see down on the center tube, there's a long aluminum rib that runs all the way to the front of the pontoon on the center tube. So you have two of them on the center tube and one on each outer tube. And of course, what lifting strakes do is they help get the boat up on top of the water rather than plowing through the water. Of course, this gives you better fuel economy, better performance, better handling. There's so many benefits to a lifting strake versus a round tube. Now, sometimes I see boat companies putting lifting strakes on the outside of the outer tubes. I've tried those before, and what I don't like about them is on a triple tune, say you're going around a corner at 25, 30 miles an hour. The triple tunes are designed to bank up a little bit like a runabout and go around the corner, making it a lot more comfortable when you're driving in the pontoon. Well, what happens with the lifting strakes on the outside of the pontoon is this side isn't allowed to sink down because you have those lifting strakes. It's lifting it up. So what ends up happening is you go around the corner rather flat. That's not as comfortable as banking into the corner. Okay, as I mentioned before, the only difference between a Lusso 23 and a Lusso 25, on the inside anyway, is the length of the bow bench seat. So here we're in the 23-footer. Now, as you can tell, I can sit easily two adults, maybe two adults and a child. Okay, I've got plenty of room for that. Okay, now here I am in the bow of a 25-foot pontoon. And as you can see, yeah, I can easily seat three adults, if not maybe three adults and a child. So golly, the length of the bow bench seat in a 23 versus a 25, yeah, it's 2 feet at least. You get a very, very large bench seat in the 25-foot. Okay, back on the 23-footer again. You may have noticed that we have two different base vinyl colors. This is a light gray, the 25-footer was in a dark gray. That's the two options that they have available in the Lussos. So, back to the bench seat up front. We've got cup holder, and you can see the blue LED lights in there. Those are what we call RGB, red, green, blue. They change colors. And of course, there's also a LED light inside the speaker. Next to the speaker is a USB jack, and that's the new updated C USB, which I believe is designed to help charge your phone more quickly. And of course, next to that is a grab handle. Now, bifold seat hinges. So now the seat folds down out of our way, giving us an easy access to the storage compartment under the seat. All right. And then pop down armrests on both sides, makes it very comfortable. I love lounging up here when I'm out cruising. Sometimes I make my wife drive just so I can sit up here, relax, have a cold, refreshing beverage. And then this door pops open and you've got two legs there. This is a table. Now I'm just going to put one leg down just to show you what it looks like. So I extend one of my legs and now I have a table. Because of that, we don't sell a whole lot of pedestal tables that go up in the bow area anymore. Some people still want them. They want two tables. But because of that table, most times people just use that table. Since we're here in the storage compartment, you'll see the subwoofer. Now, Lussos come standard with a subwoofer and an amplifier for their sound system. Yeah, it's a really nice sounding stereo system. I really appreciate the sound in this one. It is high fidelity. Okay. Starboard side bench seat is identical to the port side. We have our nice Lusso embroidery down there. Down here, you can see one of the LED lights. There's one across. Now, if this is on the 25, there's two of these in each bench seat up front. Here we have a door and our trash can. In our trash can is our owner's manual. Now my wife says, don't worry, honey, those are just suggestions. You don't have to read any of that. You know everything. My wife knows me so well. Okay, next to that, of course, is our ever popular pet food tray. Now we got food and water for our pets. Oh, speaking about our pets, Barletta's are pet-friendly pontoons. This is what's called a doggy dock view. I don't know if you can see my hand through here, but this is like a mesh screen, and it's color matched to the outside of the pontoon. This is so your pets can see through the door as you're pulling up to the dock, pulling in your boat lift, pulling up to the sandbar, whatever. So the front gate and the port side gate both have the doggy dock view. That's pretty cool, huh? Now, standard in a Lusso is what's called an anchor storage compartment. I don't know if there's any other brands of pontoons that have these, but I appreciate it because, yes, we go to the sandbar, I use my anchor, I'm done, I pull my anchor in, my rope is wet. I really don't want to store it underneath the seat because then everything else in there gets all wet. I throw it down there, and I don't care if it's wet. It dries out, the water drains to the back of the center tube. A wonderful place for an anchor and rope, and any other gear you might want to put down in there. Now, of course, this is in addition to the standard ski storage locker that's in the sole of the boat. And this is huge. I mean, way bigger than what the door indicates. It goes way up about 4 feet farther than what the door is. And that's our playpen cover. All Barlettas have a playpen cover as standard. So I can lay down in there. That's so big down there. It's just very, very large. And there is a bilge pump, and when we get it to the helm, I'll show you what how that works. Now, I mentioned that it has a cover. Rather than using snaps like most pontoons do, Barletta uses what we call J-clips in the cover. They're sewn into the cover. And on the outside rail, underneath on the bottom, is a slot. And those clips that are sewn into the cover snap, 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 all the way down the boat. It's really a lot easier than what we're all used to with those round half-inch diameter snaps that tend to be very difficult to take on and put off. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, this is a model called a UC. The U stands for the Ultra Lounge, and that's coming up in a little bit. But the C stands for the co-pilot's chair. Now, here's what I like about this. The co-pilot's chair swivels, reclines, slides back and forth. The armrests pop up and down. In lieu of a model called a U, not a UC, but a U. A U would have a bench seat, instead of this captain's chair, would have a bench seat with a rear-facing chase lounge, identical to the front chase lounge, but only rear-facing. So the passenger has two options. It's a bench seat with a rear-facing chase lounge, so that person can either lay facing backwards or sit facing the driver's side. Well, a lot of times the gals tell us, I don't want that. I want to be able to swivel. I want to be able to recline. I want to swing it around. If I have guests back here, I want to converse with my guests or the captain, whether it be the wife or the husband over there. So this is much more flexible than would a bench seat. So for this reason, we stock nothing but co-pilot's chairs. Every boat that we have. We don't stock the U. Okay. Next to the co-pilot's chair is what we call a caddy. Caddy has a couple of lighted cup holders in it. Below that is a cell phone holder. Below that is a USB jack to charge your phone. And below that is a little storage net. Okay, now we're going to talk about the Feast of Resistance. This is called the Ultra Lounge. And I'm here to tell you the Ultra Lounge models are by far 3, 4, 5 times more popular than the other interior seating designs that we have. We stock, I'm going to say, probably 80% of our Barlettas with the Ultra Lounge because it's just, people want it. It's so flexible, it's so comfortable. It just makes so much sense to have this Ultra Lounge. So let's take a look at it. First of all, you can see that there's multiple lighted cup holders in it. There's a couple of LED lights down at the base. There's a couple of speakers facing forward. So this boat has, in the cockpit, has 4 speakers, and then out the back of the Ultra Lounge are 2 more speakers. So a total of 6 speakers plus the subwoofer and amplifier. Now, in the position that we've got it in right now, we have a forward-facing bench seat that can seat 3 adults. We have a rear-facing bench seat that can seat 3 adults. So when my wife and I go pontooning and say we bring some friends, what we tend to do, well, my wife and her friends, they tend to sit up in the front of the pontoon. That way the gals have their nice little conversation pit, and me and my buddies, we tend to sit in the back of the pontoon, and I can sit 3 adults here, and I have this nice little conversation pit. We can sit here and talk about football and baseball and fishing and hunting and all that kind of guy stuff, and the girls can sit up front and they can talk about the things that they like to talk about. So I like this little conversation area back here. I like the fact that you can easily walk through here to gain access to the back of the pontoon. So it's a very large Ultra Lounge, but it doesn't constrict the walkway. Now, here's what we can do. This is what we call a flip-flop. Okay? I can either lay that down like that and make a great big bench seat that will lay 3 people facing backwards. I can one-handedly lift this up and lay it down completely, making a very large bench seat, or I can lift both of these rear cushions up at a 45-degree angle to make a forward-facing chase lounge. So sometimes, let's say the teenagers, they want to lay out suntan as you're driving across the lake. Well, now you can lay facing forward. Nobody likes to lay facing backwards. They don't want to see where they've been. They want to see where they're going. So you have a nice forward-facing chase lounge. You have, if you wanted to lay both of those seat down, you could have a rear-facing chase lounge. And of course, the rear-facing bench with the forward-facing bench. Again, multifunctional. Golly, there's just so many reasons that people love that. It's wonderful. It's very, very functional. Now, this being a Lusso, it's going to come with 2 batteries. 1 battery for the engine, 1 battery for the house. And underneath here is our battery storage compartment. There you see your 2 batteries. 1 is labeled engine, 1 is labeled house. And over on the side over here is a battery selector switch that we can turn to off, battery 1, or combine. Now, when we're operating the boat, we always want to have it on combine. That means both batteries are on. All right? But the beauty of a battery selector switch is when I'm done using the boat, I can have all my accessories on, and all I have to do is go to the back of the pontoon, flip that battery selector switch to off, and everything goes dead. I don't have to worry about leaving something on, forgetting about it, and my battery going dead in a day or 2 because I left my depth finder or my navigation lights or something like that on. We've probably all been there, done that. I've done it many, many times. Also in the battery selector switch is what we call VSR, voltage sensitive relay. Why is that important? It's critical. So let's say that you go over to the sandbar and you're sitting over there all day long. You're listening to your radio. The sub and amp suck up a lot of juice out of the house battery. So your starting engine battery is fully charged, but your house battery is quite low. Now, if we started our engine, if we didn't have a VSR, what the alternator would see is whatever voltage those two batteries are combined, and send the same amount of current from the alternator to each battery. And we could ruin our starting motor battery because it's already fully charged. We don't want to overcharge it. And it would take twice as long for our house battery to recoup from our alternator. So what a VSR does is it senses which of these two batteries need the juice from the alternator and sends it to the appropriate battery without overcharging the fully charged battery. That's why a VSR, voltage sensitive relay, is very, very critical in a dual battery system. Okay, then in the back of the pontoon, standard on a Lusso is the ski tow bar. As I said earlier, you can see your fender racks that are in a very nice, convenient place to access them. Our safety chains. Also standard is a flagpole and flag. So this is easily removable. If you want to pop that right out of there, you can. Little button, push it in, and it pops in there. And on a Lusso, standard are the bolt pattern studs included in the deck for the lily pad diving board. So you can see 3 stainless steel studs, 1, 2, 3. And if you wanted to buy the optional lily pad diving board, all we do is take the studs out of there, set the diving board on, and screw it into the floor. It's already pre-drilled for us, so that makes it really, really easy to put in a diving board. And again, you can take a better look at the really nice boarding ladder that comes with the Lusso. And when you're underway, you may want to keep them in the cockpit of the pontoon. So Barletta gives you a nice gate. This keeps the little tykes from accessing the rear platform of the boat while you're underway. Nice safety feature. Okay, so let's take a look at the helm. Okay, so first thing I want to take note of on the helm, it is a elevated helm. It's about 4 or 5 inches off the floor. So the captain is up a little bit higher, and of course the reason for this is so that he has a better bird's eye view when he comes into the dock or up to the trailer. So if we have passengers sitting up in the front, now the captain is a little bit easier viewing over their heads. Now, something that is critical in my mind is the amount of legroom that this boat has. To be able to stretch out like that, in my opinion, is critical. How many times have you sat in an airplane like this for 2-3 hours, and in a short period of time, oh, my knees jam up. I mean, they get sore. I need to be able to stretch my legs out to keep my knees from getting sore. So this amount of legroom is awesome in this pontoon. So many times manufacturers have a console that goes straight down, and no, it's not very comfortable. I need legroom. Okay, up on the helm itself, they have a very, very nice, attractive helm. It just, the appearance is very automotive style. It looks great. I'm very happy with the design of the helm. So we have a good looking steering wheel. You can turn the wheel and the B stays level. It spins around. We have a 5-position tilt steering wheel. We have a tachometer. We have a speedometer. We have a multi readout LCD display screen. We have a fuel. We can toggle it to gallons per hour, engine hours, RPM, speed, oil pressure, water temperature, voltmeter, back to fuel. This one does the same thing, so you can toggle these back and forth and set them, leave them wherever you want. Our speedometer is a GPS-driven speedometer, no more pitot tubes. You remember that little white thing that used to hang out the back of the boat with a hose going all the way from it to the back of the speedometer, that the more water went up the little hole, the higher the needle went? Yeah, those weren't very accurate. The GPS-driven speedometer is way more accurate than what the old-style pitot tubes were. So you can see we have lighted switches. We turn our panel lights on and all of our lights come on. And now, for example, if I wanted to turn my navigation lights on, it turns blue. If I wanted to have just my anchor light on, it turns lighter blue, and and purple is off. Panel lights for all of our helm. Floor lights, that's our lighted cup holders. And docking lights for our headlights. We've got our skirt lighting, we've got our underwater lighting, and we have a bilge pump. Now, I want to talk about the bilge pump for a second. In a triple tune Barletta, this boat is going to have 2 bilge pumps, automatic bilge pumps. One down in the sole of the storage locker down here. The other one is for that stern anchor locker in the back of the pontoon that I showed you. Now, as I mentioned, these are automatic, so they have a float switch on them. So let's say these storage compartments fill up with rainwater. The float switch will lift up, turn the pump on, pump the water out. As the water level goes down, the pump will turn off. Rain some more, on, pump the water out, off. But we have a manual override switch here on the dash just in case we wanted to see if there was any water in the bilge. We can manually turn that on. You can hear the pumps run, and that'll let you know if there's any water just by manually turning it on. Then, of course, we have our horn button. Okay. Over here, we have our Simrad. Now, when we're on this screen, our engine screen, we have another speedometer, we have another tachometer, we have a trim gauge down here, we have a fuel gauge there, we have a total gallons of fuel in the boat. Up on top, we have a voltmeter. Over on the right, we have another speedometer. How many speedometers? That makes 3. Holy buckets. We have a digital depth finder. We have our water temp. We have our gear. Right now we're in neutral. We have our fuel in a percentage. We have our voltage, and we have our GPS fixed. But we're in a middle building. Our GPS isn't going to work in here. Okay. Now, we also have another screen that we can toggle to. Right now we're on the green portion that says Mercury. We can toggle to vessel control. And you see how this menu opens up over here? So we have cruise control, just like in your car. Troll control, smart tow, you'll probably never use those. We have, because this is a Verado, we have sport exhaust. What is that? In the engine, there's a flapper in there for the exhaust. So you can make it a little more throaty, or you can make it a little more quiet. Off, meaning it's quiet. On, meaning it's a little louder, a little more sporty. So when the guys are in the boat, yeah, I want to sound cool, I turn my sport exhaust on, right? And when the gals are in the boat, nope, I turn it off because they don't want to listen to that noise. Okay, so now we're back on our main screen here. And up here you see those 9 little dots. You can touch that, and it'll go to our main screen. Now we have our chart. Chart is our depth finder. And of course we're not in the water right now, so it's not going to read. I'm sorry. This is our GPS. I said that wrong. So, right now, yes, we are at Family Marine. It's not going to change because we're in a metal building. We must have programmed this one when we had it outside earlier this year. But we can scroll in, and as I scroll in, I can start to see depths, right? 15 feet there. This is Eagle Lake right across the street from us. You can see different depths, okay? So this will show you where you're at. You can click on your waypoints to mark areas if you want. So yeah, people love to have a GPS in a pontoon. Here we go to our depth, echo. and that is going to show us bottom structure. It's going to show us a digital readout of how deep a water we're in. It's going to show us our water temperature. It'll even show us some fish. So that's pretty cool. Now, this says side scan. No, we don't have side scan in this boat, but we do have down scan. So this is more accurate with our depth finder, is in case we were fishing. And then we also have navigation, which we don't have radar on this pontoon. But this is our engine that we were at just a little bit ago. And then over here you can do two screens at the same time. You can do your GPS and you can do your depth finder. So that's pretty nice to have. Okay, down below that is our Audison awesome sound system, AM, FM, Bluetooth. There is a plug-in here if you wanted to hook your phone to the stereo via a cord. You can do that. Up on the dash we have a phone charger. Now, what I like about that phone charger, it's a cordless phone charger, is it's in the shade. I have set my phone here in the past, and on a hot sunny day, my phone, because it's black, can overheat. I don't want that. It could ruin the phone. So I like to be able to set it here in my phone charger, and it's in the shade. I'm not overheating my phone, and I'm charging it at the same time. Okay, down below we have a little storage compartment. Down here we have our ignition switch, our safety lanyard, our switch for our power bimini up and down. I mentioned earlier that all Barlettas come standard with a power bimini. And then here we have a 12-volt power outlet, so you could plug in, say, your handheld spotlight or your 12-volt blender. I think every boat should come standard with a 12-volt blender, don't you? Okay, this little silver knob here, you see a blue light. So the blue light in the end of the silver knob indicates what color I've got the cup holder set at right now. I can turn that and I can change the colors of the lights that are in the cup holders. Now I'm purple. Now I'm magenta. Now I'm green or white. Now I'm yellow. I saw green in there a minute ago. There's green somewhere, right? I can just keep turning that and it'll change colors. Or I can push it twice and it'll start changing colors for me. Now I feel like I'm at Studio 54 in New York back in 1977. Man, we got a discotheque going on here. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's your RGB lighting package. That's on that it is an option in this boat, and we had it added because people like it. Okay, so that's kind of it on the Barletta Lusso 23 and 25. Oh, no, it's not. I'm not done yet. A couple of things I want to talk about. Soft touch vinyl. Oh, feels like suede. Yeah, I love it. Oh, it's just wonderful stuff. And Barletta uses a really heavy-duty upholstery in their pontoons with a high content of UV inhibitor. Why is that important? Well, I'm here to tell you, if you were to come into our shop, say work in our store for a month, and see the number of used boats coming into our service department, oh my, the sun can deteriorate the vinyl, crack it, tear it, turn it light brown. It looks like sunburn. It is sunburn. Especially right up on top of the bench seats is where it happens the most. And there's nothing you can do about that. You have to reupholster it to get rid of that. So to have a high content of UV inhibitor to reflect the ultraviolet light from the sun is important. Okay, I go one step further. I'm a little anal. We have a product on our parts and accessory department. It's called Boat Bling Vinyl Sauce. And this vinyl sauce is an additional UV inhibitor. It keeps the vinyl soft and supple. And in my opinion, it helps me clean it. It's easier to clean the upholstery after using the vinyl sauce. This stuff is so good, I'm telling you. I take a bottle of it home. I do my lawn furniture, my vinyl lawn furniture. I do my garden tractor tires, because rubber, of course, can deteriorate in the sun and dry rot. I got an old Farmall tractor from 1942 that's got big tires on it, and I don't want to buy new tires. Them things are expensive. So I treat my tires on my old Farmall so that they don't dry rot. Once a year is all I need to do it. But I will say this, don't spray this stuff on your floor. The flooring is seagrass. Seagrass is made of a PVC product. PVC is not porous like vinyl is. PVC will not absorb the vinyl sauce. It'll get slippery. So what I do is I spray it on a rag, wipe it around. Spray it on a rag, wipe it around. Okay? Don't get it on your floor. You don't have to do anything to your floor. The seagrass is stain proof. I'm going to say proof. I've never seen anything that'll permanently stain it. I'm sure there probably is something out there. I don't know what though. The ultraviolet light from the sun? No, we just don't have problems with flooring, seagrass flooring fading due to the ultraviolet light in the sun. Okay, so I know I get a little long-winded. Sorry about that, but it is my belief that as a pontoon buyer, it's important that you know what it is that you're getting for the money. I feel that the better I can help you understand the value of this pontoon, all the different features and constructions that are built into this pontoon, the more you feel comfortable in getting a Barletta, whether it be from Family Marine or some other dealer across the country. I'm just here to tell you these are absolutely fabulous pontoons. So if you do have any more questions, feel free to call myself or Corey. Corey's the guy behind the camera. And our phone number is area code 320-222-BOAT. That's 222-2628. Our website is familymarineboats.com. More importantly, go to our YouTube channel. Search for Family Marine Willmar, W-I-L-L-M-A-R. And we have a plethora of videos on there, all of our different models, help you decide what's the right boat for you, the right length, the right horsepower, twin tube, triple tune, whatever the case may be. So, with that being said, I thank you very much for spending all this time. I know I get a little long-winded, but appreciate your watching, and we hope to hear from you.